An $800 experiment exposes unencrypted calls, texts, and even military data from space. Starlink hits 10 gigabit speeds. Microsoft places a big bet that the future of PC is voice. And when the cloud goes dark, businesses are becoming even more vulnerable to internet outages. Welcome to #Trending. I'm your host, Jim Love. Let's get into it. This is a story that I covered on cybersecurity today, but I think it has a real relevance to our audience as well. A new study has found that half of all geostationary satellites transmitting over North America are sending sensitive data completely unencrypted. And it only took an $800 setup to prove it. Researchers from the University of California, San Diego, and the University of Maryland installed a small satellite receiver on a rooftop in La Jolla, California. After 3 years, they intercepted a torrent of private information, fragments of Americans' phone calls, texts from the T-Mobile network, passenger internet data from airline Wi-Fis, and even operational messages from oil platforms, electric utilities, and military units. According to the study, many of these transmissions were sent in the clear, no encryption at all. One of the researchers, Aaron Schulman, told Wired, "Critical infrastructure depends on these satellite links, yet we found case after case where communications were simply not secured." The vulnerabilities weren't limited to U.S. systems. The team also intercepted unprotected messages from Mexican military and law enforcement, along with work orders from Mexico's state electric utility. After being notified, T-Mobile began encrypting its satellite traffic, and AT&T said its exposure came from a misconfigured vendor system that's now fixed. Others didn't respond. Security expert Matt Blaze summed up the shock factor the best. "This didn't take spy agency tech," he said, "just the same setup as a home satellite TV user." The team plans to release open-source tools so others can inspect satellite signals, hoping that the transparency will drive reform, although it might make it easier for attackers to listen in. But for now, the takeaway is simple. The biggest holes in our networks may not be underground cables or data centers. They might be floating 36,000 kilometers above us. And while we're on the topic of satellites, if you've ever wondered how fast Starlink could go, here's your answer. On Royal Caribbean's Star of the Seas cruise ship, the company hit download speeds of up to 10 gigabits per second. That bandwidth would of course be shared among thousands of passengers, but it proves something important. Starlink satellites are physically capable of delivering fiber-level speeds from orbit. For the rest of us, the experience is more mixed. Starlink speeds have been improving. We've seen about 130 megabits down and about 20 to 40 up, though performance can vary throughout the day. In some areas, users are seeing congestion slow things down, especially in regions where too many subscribers share the same satellite beam. Starlink has even introduced a so-called congestion fee in these high-demand zones. It's a one-time surcharge that can run anywhere from $100 to $750 US, depending on how crowded the region is. But in that regard, help may be on the way. SpaceX is now deploying its new V3 Starlink satellites. These are enormous platforms that can only be launched on the company's Starship rocket. Each one weighs close to 2 metric tons and packs far more powerful lasers and antennas, adding an estimated 60 terabits per second of capacity per launch. These heavyweights are designed to relieve congestion and push real-world speeds towards the gigabit range. And that's probably a good idea because competition is heating up. Viasat, a veteran satellite provider founded back in 1986, can't yet match Starlink's speeds. Its plans top out at about 150 megabits per second, but it's competing in other ways as well. Viasat offers professional installation, something Starlink doesn't, and it has an A+ rating from the Better Business Bureau for customer service, compared with SpaceX's F for responsiveness. And there's Amazon's Project Kuiper, also on the way, and it'll bring the full weight of Amazon's cloud and logistics and, frankly, customer service into orbit. So Starlink may still dominate on raw speed, but its rivals are finding other ways to appeal to customers, including those who'd rather not deal with Elon Musk after some of his controversial moments in the Doge fiasco. Still, with V3 satellites rolling out, Starlink looks set to keep pushing forward faster, more capable service, and the next gigabit connection you may get may not come through a wire, but from space. Microsoft has heard the future of the PC and its voice. In an interview with The Verge, Microsoft's Chief Marketing Officer, Yusuf Mehdi, outlined what may be the company's boldest plan in decades to rewrite Windows around artificial intelligence. Mehdi says that the goal is to create the AI PC, a computer that listens, sees, and acts like a digital partner. In the meantime, Windows 11 users will soon notice the change. The company is rolling out new features called Copilot Voice, Copilot Vision, and Copilot Actions, all designed to make your operating system conversational. With a new Hey Copilot wake word, you can even talk to your PC much like you talk to a smart speaker. It can open apps, search files, or even explain what's on your screen. Using Copilot Vision, it can see your desktop, walk you through software, or answer questions about what's in a photo or a document. The next step, Copilot Actions, will go even further, letting the AI take control and perform tasks on your behalf, like sorting a folder full of pictures or fixing a settings issue, all within a secure sandboxed environment. Microsoft says it will list every step the agent takes so you can watch what it's doing, a direct nod to privacy concerns after last year's failed recall experiment. And this isn't the first time that Microsoft has tried to make talking to your PC feel natural. Do you remember Cortana? That one never quite caught on. But Mehdi argues that the timing is different now. People already spend billions of minutes talking through their computers on Teams calls, and the rise of AI assistants like ChatGPT has changed expectations. Voice, he says, is becoming the third input method after keyboard and mouse. It's a huge bet, and it's one that could redefine what it means to use a computer. But it's also risky, although Microsoft doesn't have a lot of choice. Google and OpenAI are racing to release their own AI operating environments, and Apple, if it wants to maintain its edge in user experience, is going to have to respond soon with something equally transformative. So for all of these players, the stakes are massive. And if Microsoft is right, we could be looking at a once-in-a-generation shift, a change as big as what the iPhone did for mobile computing. And this time, the interface may not be a touchscreen. It could be your voice. This week, Microsoft quietly made a big change. The company announced that new Word documents will automatically be saved to OneDrive, its cloud storage service, instead of the local hard drive. Right now, OneDrive is an option, but it will become the default. It's a small shift in settings, but it's a huge signal of where computing is headed. Step by step, we've been moving from local machines towards full dependence on the cloud, not just for files, but for apps, authentication, and increasingly for AI. That has real advantages. Your files are backed up, accessible anywhere, and seamlessly integrated with other Microsoft services. But it also comes with a risk that too many of us might be ignoring. And that's what happens when the cloud goes down. And as if on cue, there were some reminders this week. PayPal and Venmo were knocked offline for hours each, leaving users unable to make or receive payments. And around the same time, YouTube went dark for more than 100,000 users, according to Down Detector. And finally, cybersecurity reporter Brian Krebs warned of developments where he was seeing massive botnets that could generate enough traffic to overwhelm the core internet infrastructure, not just individual sites, but potentially the entire networks that keep regions online. For individuals, a few hours offline is annoying. For small businesses that depend on digital payment systems, e-commerce, and increasingly AI-powered tools, this could be crippling. It raises a real question for the new cloud-first world. How long could you keep operating if the internet went down? Because in an age where even your word processor is saved to the cloud, offline is becoming more than an inconvenience. It's a risk. And that's my Friday musing, and also that's our show for the week. On the weekend, we've got the gang from Project Synapse, and we'll be talking about This Week in AI and a lot more. I'll be back Monday morning with the tech news, but until then, I'm your host, Jim Love. Have a fabulous Friday.